The hospitality box in the community stand at the Pro X Stadium will be turned into a pop-up sensory room for Chesterfield's game against Northampton Town. Jane Carver from Accessible Derbyshire explains how sensory rooms help those affected by autism.
Well, someone with autism is very often extremely sensitive to sounds, to visual sort of stimulation and the kind of smells and tastes and textures of their environment. So even a kind of an ordinary kind of day in their home might be a challenge sometimes. So to come to the noisy, busy environment of a football match, for some people can be absolutely overwhelming because they've got thousands of sounds to try to process, thousands of pieces of visual information, and it can be much too much for them. What we're doing this Saturday is, because we've very kindly been given the use of this box, it means that we've got a glass screen between the young people and the football match, so the sound will be much quieter. We've got ear defenders that can help with that as well. We've also got lots of sensory equipment in here which will provide a lot of sort of soothing experiences for them. So it'll be an opportunity to enjoy the game but not have that overwhelming sort of sensation of just too much sound, too much to see, that can sometimes overload people. When people do get overloaded, they can have something called a meltdown, which is where they're just too full of information. And when that happens, if I take my daughter as an example, she actually self-harms, so she can pull her hair and bite herself and pinch herself. And as a mum, you really don't want to see that, so you tend to avoid situations that will cause her that distress. So we've got a chance on Saturday of bringing her here and enjoying a game in an environment that is suitable for her, and hopefully we'll have a good time as a family. We've got around 20 people altogether who will be coming along, and they're so thrilled that the Community Trust has taken this step, and that we've managed to put on this session. It means an awful lot to people, and it is a first for Chesterfield. There are some clubs around the country, an increasing number, who are putting on these sessions, and they've been so successful that some have permanent sensory rooms now. So it's something that, I'm sure it'll go well on Saturday, and it's something that we would absolutely love to repeat in the future, because it makes a huge difference, and it means that families who have a member who is autistic can stick together and do an activity together that they enjoy.
Chesterfield player coach Richie Humphreys, who's also chairman of the PFA, recognises the importance of this type of initiative.
Well, I think it's, what's really important is that football kind of should be inclusive for everybody to come. Now, I was speaking to a lady who is associated with autism, that it's kind of difficult for her family to come as a family when one of her children suffers with autism. And what this room will be able to do is create a safe, secure environment to come to a football match. She was telling me that the noise and what may happen on a match day can, if somebody was sat in the stand with autism, could distress them, sometimes cause pain. So the fact that we've got this room here, they can be behind the glass, come to the football to enjoy the football, but also have all this equipment here to make them feel comfortable and hopefully have an enjoyable match day experience.
Fair to say that this type of requirement for supporters has been largely overlooked by football in the past, but organisations like the Chesterfield FC Community Trust doing their bit to make it all inclusive, as you say.
I think that's the key, isn't it? The work that the Community Trust do in our communities and other football clubs in their community trusts around the country, try and do everything they can possible to make the community inclusive to the football club. This being a good example where something's not been done before. I know a couple of other football clubs around the country have got a permanent room like this, which is absolutely fantastic for their fans. And I think the more we can do to help these families to come to a football match, enjoy that match day experience in a safe, comfortable environment, and that's a really positive step for football.
Jane provides us with a guide to the equipment in the pop-up sensory room.
We've got lots of sensory equipment that has been set up very kindly by Romper in this room for the match on Saturday, and this is a wonderful example of the kind of sensory equipment that is available on Saturday. We've got two pieces of kit which are both remotely controlled by this device on the floor. So if I press a button, if I press orange, both pieces of kit go orange. If I press green, they both go green. And we've got the bubble tube, we've got fibre optic lights, which are safe to touch. Even if you were to nibble them, it would be absolutely safe for you. And on this screen, which again is, as I say, is completely interactive there, you've got little buttons that you can press of different shapes that make different sounds, and each different colour will do something different. So really, really exciting, but also soothing for people who might be a little bit overwhelmed, come the day. We've got, in addition to that, a piece of kit here which is an aromatherapy unit. So not only is it about sort of soothing visual things, but also there'll be a soothing smell that is coming through in addition to that, which will be fantastic. Moving along, we've got in this corner we've got some really funky, really attractive pieces of equipment, which are actually helmets. So some people can, if they have epilepsy, can sort of fall suddenly, or it might be that they might self-harm and sort of hurt themselves, and that helps to prevent that, prevents them injuring themselves. And they're really, really cool pieces of kit. I've never seen any like this. So we've got an alligator and some kind of a zebra type thing, which is really good. We've got ear defenders as well, so that if people, again, are too overwhelmed with the noise, they can wear those, and some will probably bring their own as well. And these are what is known as fiddle toys. So people with autism quite often like to just pick something up and kind of fiddle with it as a piece of sort of sensory stimulation for them. So they find that really soothing, which are fantastic. There are blinds at the windows, which mean that if people are too overwhelmed, we can draw the blinds if we need to, so that's great. And then moving along, we've got, again, some additional toys for people to play with, little beads, sort of pipes and little spiky pieces of tactile sort of kit for them to play with, which are all absolutely fantastic. And then if we move right round again, we've got another piece of equipment with, again, the fibre optic lights which change colour, and also the fantastic sort of light tube there in the corner. We'll also be bringing along some weighted blankets and some weighted vests, so that people who need that sort of feeling of pressure, firm pressure, will be able to have that experience. And I'll also be taking photographs today and emailing them out to the people who are coming along, so they've got a sense of what the room looks like and what the ground looks like, so they can prepare themselves and the people that are coming with them before the day itself. So it should be a fantastic event on Saturday, and we're really looking forward to it.